the regional stability. So first I'll start with an overview of the attack, and then I'll cover 3 reasons as to why this attack could have a negative impact on the region, and then I'll wrap this up. Okay, so when did this attack occur? This attack took place on April 15th of 2024, and several weapons were launched by Iran, including Shahed 136 suicide drones and hundreds of ballistic and cruise missiles. All of these weapons were intercepted by Israel's Iron Dome technology, which is a missile defense system devised by Israel. And there was also a joint military force comprised of Israel's Western allies that helped fend off the missiles. And the target regions were Golan Heights, Arad region, Nevatim, and Ramon air bases in the Negev desert. And so far, there hasn't been much casualties. So why would this seemingly trivial attack have a negative, how could it pose a threat to the region? Why would it pose a threat? So the first likely reason is Iran's shift in attitude. So previously Iran used proxy states such as the Hezbollah or Houthi militias or Al-Qaeda, for example. And the reason what these states have in common is that they are all Shia majority states and Shia is a branch of Islam that sets Iran as a leader position. So usually these attacks took place in small scale, it took the form of border skirmishes. And the reason Iran adopted that type of strategy was to avoid direct warfare with Israel. And after Israel's stroke in a Damascus consulate in Syria, there has been a drastic change in terms of Iran's policies. So this attack is a start of that. So this attack has a lot of implications since it is the first ever direct attack on Israel, as well as the largest. So if future policies of Iran are tailored to this direction, then regional stability is in peril. Okay, so another factor to consider is the response of US and Israel. Israel has historically adhered to an eye for an eye policy, and you can see this from its 4 wars with the neighboring countries in the Middle East, or as she mentioned earlier in her presentation, the ongoing Hamas-Israel war, which occurred as a response to its Hamas attacks last October. Now Israel is accused of performing mass genocide on its people and complete destruction of the entire Gaza Strip's infrastructure. So there's just no guarantee that such analogous payback won't happen again with this attack. And also another factor is the US. Since the fall of the Pahlavi dynasty and the advent of the Khomeini's current Iranian regime, US has historically, been an adversary of Iran. So if recently the Biden administration has reaffirmed military aid and full-fledged support for the nation. So if such action continues, then there could be a hostile reaction, triggering a belligerent response. So far we've discussed about the geopolitical factors that could influence the regional stability, but there could also be some economic factors at play. So this is a major characteristic of Middle Eastern economy is that it's highly dependent on the energy market. So whenever there was a major war or conflict, as you can see from the Iraq war, Yemen Houthi militias attacks, or the 2022 Taliban, for example, last year, the oil prices soared, and it led to a negative impact on the region's general economy. So if Israel strikes Iranian facilities as a response to this attack, and if the international society imposes tougher sanctions, then it could have the same impact. And another thing to consider is the worsened economy of Israel. So although Israel hasn't suffered much directly, it had a lot of indirect effects in the fields of tourism, transport, and supply chains. And I wouldn't use the term downturn because downturn is an overly exaggerated expression, so I'll just say it had a negative influence at least. All right, so I would like to conclude this presentation by saying that this conflict could jeopardize the region in terms of geopolitics and economics. And this is a quote by me saying, conflicts and wars are easily forgotten as time passes, but it doesn't make it less important. So the role of us as the international community and the United Nations would be to continuously monitor for further signs of conflict and seek for a peaceful consensus. Thank you.
Wow.